Hello everyone, I am Professor Srinidhi. Welcome to the video on momentum theory analysis in axial descent. This comes under the topic helicopter dynamics. This is the continuation of the previous two videos, especially that is momentum theory analysis in hovering flight and momentum theory analysis in axial climb, and now we will be discussing about momentum theory analysis in axial descent. The contents of this video are an introduction, laws of conservation, induced velocity curve. Starting off with momentum theory analysis in axial descent. We have studied the analysis in hovering, axial climb. Almost similar to that is in axial descent. The axial climb velocity, you can see here the flow of the air, the flow of the fluid is from bottom to the top. So upstream is at the bottom 0 and downstream is at the top the loop. The climb flow model cannot be used in a descent because now the climb velocity is directed upwards and so the slipstream will be above the rotor. This will be the case whenever the climb velocity is more than twice the average induced velocity at the disk. For cases where the descent velocity is in the range from 0 to -2 hovering velocity, the velocity at any plane through the rotor slipstream can either upward or downward. A more complicated recirculating flow pattern may exist at the rotor during this time. So the momentum theory cannot be used definitively if the volume is not controlled. Here we will make some assumptions. The assumptions are made. The velocity is measured as positive when directed in downward direction and the climb velocity is greater than twice the hovering velocity. This assumption so that a well-defined slipstream will always exist above the rotor and encompassing the rotor disc. Far upstream the rotor means that is at the bottom 0. The magnitude of velocity is the descent velocity which is equal to climb velocity Vc. Next, in the rotor plane, that is from 1 to 2, the velocity at this plane, especially 2, is Vc minus Vi. And in the far wake, here far wake is at the top, downstream, the symbol loop. The velocity will be Vc minus omega. Now coming to the laws of conservation. By the conservation of mass, the fluid mass flow rate m dot through the rotor disc is m dot is equal to double integration at the loop position rho v into ds. That's equal to even same thing at the rotor plane rho v into ds. Hence we get the equation m dot is equal to rho a Vc plus Vi. By the conservation of fluid momentum, which gives you the equation for thrust, T is equal to minus double integration rho V ds into V minus double integration at the position 0 rho V ds into V. You can observe here the negative sign. This negative sign because the flow direction is now reversed compared to the axial climb. In a steady descent, the velocity far upstream of the rotor must be finite so that both terms on right hand side of this equation are non-zero. Therefore, we get the equation T is equal to minus m dot Vc minus plus omega minus m dot Vc. That gives you minus m dot omega. We have already considered that T is a non-negative because m dot is negative by means of assuming sign conversion. Thus, by the conservation of energy, the work done here is T into Vi plus Vc. That gives us the equation T into Vi plus Vc is equal to the equation you can see in the image. The final equation, the final formula is minus 1 by 2 m dot omega into 2 Vc plus omega, which is also a negative quantity. Therefore, the rotor is now extracting power from the airstream, and this operation condition is known as windmill state. More usually, it is referred to as windmill brake state. Why? Because the rotor in this condition decreases, that is, the velocity of the rotor, rotating blades will decrease, or it breaks the velocity of the flow. From the previous two equations, we get omega is equal to 2Vi, which is similar to in the climbing condition. From descending rotor, the thrust will be T is equal to minus m dot omega, the previous equation, which is equal to the final formula is minus 2 rho A into Vc plus Vi into Vi. Therefore, we get the equation T by 2 rho A is equal to Vh square. You have seen this in the previous video. You can go to the previous video and refer this. That's equal to minus Vc plus Vi into Vi. That will give you an equation minus Vc Vi minus Vi square. By dividing this previous equation by Vh, we get the equation Vi by Vh whole square plus Vc by Vh into Vi by Vh plus 1 is equal to 0. You can observe here it is a quadratic equation with the Vi by Vh as your variable. Now, you have a quadratic equation, you have your variable. What is the solution for variable? The solution for variable is Vi by Vh is equal to minus into Vc by 2Vh plus or minus square root of Vc by 2Vh whole square minus 1. This is the solution for that quadratic equation. Again, like the climb case, there are two possible solutions here for Vi by Vh. One of these solution produces a value of Vi by Vh which is greater than 1, which violates the assumed flow model in this descending case. The only valid solution here will be Vi by Vh is equal to minus Vc by 2Vh minus square root of Vc by 2Vh whole square minus 1. Here in plus or minus we have considered minus because it is the flow is in the negative direction. This will be valid only when Vc by Vh is less than or equal to minus 2. You can note in this image, in this graph, power ratio versus climb velocity ratio, that as the descent velocity increases, the induced velocity decreases, and it moves smoothly to 0 at high descent rate. The other solution to the quadratic, which is denoted by the broken line in this figure, violates the assumed flow model and so is a non-physical solution. With this, we have concluded with today's video. To understand this fully, you have to watch the previous two videos, that is momentum theory analysis in hovering and momentum theory analysis in axial climb, and thus concluding the momentum theory analysis of the all three phases of helicopter. Thank you. Also like, comment, share and subscribe to the channel.